So here we are going to talk about some speaking questions related to rules and law. It's about part 3, which is a discussion part. How can children be taught about the law? I think it can happen with desirable results, both in a school and at home. I think parents and teachers share responsibility about this when it comes to teaching children about the laws, basic rules that we have in our country, or the logic behind it. I think none of them alone can be successful. So I think there should be some sort of cooperation and should be a shared understanding about this matter. In your opinion, how can a person be a good member of society? Well, I think it's not very easy to understand how you can be effective, especially if the society is rapidly changing or is a complex one, or some groups in the society with different views do not agree and oppose each other all the time, which is the case throughout the world in developing countries. But there are some principles that I think everyone agrees about, and they have like the shared idea. There are some places, some as I said, basic rules, ground rules. For example, when it comes to logic, when it comes to morals, things like this. And when, for example, the distinction between good and bad is very clear. For example, helping others, doing some charity works, or for example, helping people who are in need, specific groups in the society, for example, like old people or disadvantaged groups in the society, and things like this. I think if a person understands that and understand why you should not, for example, break some rules, why you should not see yourself better than others, and why it is important that everyone follows the rule, I think that way you can be a good member of the society. But as I said, it's a very general question, and it needs to be more specified for us to be able to talk about it. Do you think that it's important to follow rules? I think it is very important to follow rules if majority of people do that. But if majority of people do not follow rules, it is impossible for other people to do so, because in that way, in the long run, you will lose a lot. For example, when it comes to economic aspect, if you follow rules and no one else does, you have to pay more, and you waste a lot of money. And for example, when it comes to driving, for example, when it comes to matters related to friends and people around you, co-workers, work, and many other fields, if it is very important that we follow rules, especially the common rules that are everywhere. But it is important that many other people do the same. If they don't do that, it would be pointless, and in the long term you will be disappointed and desperate, because it's always like an extra cost that you have to pay and no one else does. No one else pays it, and you have to do that because you feel obligated to do so. So I think it is important that, as I said, it's something that is common. Otherwise, maybe you shouldn't follow the rule. I mean, this is something that many people have decided. They decided to just ignore some rules because no one else does, and they don't want to so-called be loser in the society because they just felt obligated to do that. Do you think that laws are the only way to make people behave? Of course not. If you have a good upbringing and you understand why you should do something and why you should not, and you consider other people, laws are not very, very important. Countries with the best situation regarding this matter, people who are law-abiding, they have like most law-abiding citizen in the world. For example, let's say Sweden or Scandinavian countries, they do not have a really good situation because they have a lot of rules about everything. The situation is created by providing most people necessities and securing their future and things like this. And they do not break the laws to take advantage. There's a good education in place. As I said, the future is secure. The financial situation is stable. And people are taught meticulously, I want to say, at a school about why we want to keep the situation like this and why it is important to make this country a great place to live in and be happy in. When we all follow the same rules, we have some shared principles. So it's not about just making new rules and laws. It's about creating a situation where people can feel happy and they are ready to contribute. They don't just see themselves. They see their country as a place that is shared, and they want to contribute. As I said, they want to have their own share, and they will be happy about it. In your opinion, is a school the only place where children can learn rules of behavior? Of course not. I think it starts at home. Parents have a very important role at this because children spend more time with them. And many people believe by the time children enter school, they had already formed many of their behaviors and their characters have developed. Their characters is built, most of it. Even some people say some part of it is formed before you can even speak. And a lot of it is inherited from your parents and your ancestors. So a school only can change it or modify it a little. And by good rules, by good examples, and by repetition from time to time. And it's not just you tell them what to do or what is right and what is not. If the society is a good example, they probably follow and try to make it even better. Otherwise, it would be pointless to teach something that can never happen in reality. Or if you follow it, you will be in a inferior position compared to your peers. Can they also learn rules of behavior somewhere else? If so, where? As I said, home is the best place, I think. Of course, there are places, online communities, for example, or other communities that are available around the society, I mean, everywhere. When you spend time with other people, you choose friends, you actually see something that you admire in them. That's the place that you can learn some rules. For example, rules that people follow, things that you learn by just observing other people, or you see some traits and some characters that you admire, as I said, and you want to be like that person. You see that without even speaking a word, you see that that's a better way for me too. So you just follow that example. So of course, a school is not the only place. A school is just one of many places that this can happen. Home is one. People you spend time with in cafes, in their homes, places that you go to with your friends, or everywhere. It happens everywhere. Depending of the stage of your life, it changes, but as I said, a school is just one of many.